Hi, everybody. This is Chris,
This is Matt.
and Matt is reporting to us from an undisclosed location.
I have moved.
You've moved, so
I'm
we
in
get.
the Hall of Boxes.
Well, that's kind of fitting for this game.
Yeah, right? That's perfect for Deathmaze.
Deathmaze. That is, if I had a tagline for Deathmaze, it's all of boxes that will kill you.
Yep,
Um,
boxes within boxes.
yeah, I'm gonna start the
Yeah.
video going here. Although I should. There's two warnings we got to give everyone. One, this is not a review. This is our monthly discussion where we get together and talk about a game. We actually do it twice a month now. And we do a long game at the beginning of the month, and this is our short game. We're basically we play it for a day or two, get a feel for it. It's meant to be more arcadey or simple games, or I
hmm
wouldn't necessarily say this is a simple game, but you can get a feel for it in a day.
Definitely.
Probably won't finish it in a day, but
It very much is what you're seeing here, and that's it.
yeah, that was going to be my next warning is this is the graphics, and it's also my first complaint about the graphics. I'm flying through here, but I'm going to pause it real quick. So, if you're looking ahead, like there's no auto map in this game obviously. So you got a map,
hmm
and that's sort of my little pet love. If you're looking ahead at this hallway, to your left, it looks like you go around a corner and then there's a wall there.
hmm
And if you're looking straight ahead, it looks like there's a wall and then a wall to the right of it, a wall next to it. So it looks like it bends and jogs.
hmm
In this case, that's actually how it works, but it might not be. What you're seeing on the screen is not 100% accurate representation of what you're actually seeing on the periphery.
Hmm.
And
I
I
had
had to. Hmm?
I was gonna say I did it. I mapped this too, and it was really hard for me to map. And I don't know if that's why, or if it's just the 2D walls are and it winds so much.
The winding doesn't help. I don't know that the 2D walls probably bothered you as much as the walls don't accurately, and I'll find somewhere later that shows it better. Um,
This is probably not super fun to watch either.
no, so
Uh, yeah,
yeah, minimize the screen, listen to us talk.
listen
Uh,
to the smooth sounds of our nerdy voices.
and on this record, I went straight for the puzzle that sums up this game in a heartbeat. This is it. This is the core premise of the game. You want to talk about this one first, or do you want me to?
I'll start. So the puzzle is that you're going down this kind of winding hallway, and you see a box, and this is a pattern that you've probably established playing Death Maze by now. So
Mm-hmm.
you walk up to the box, you open it, you get the item, and then you turn around and you go, and then later use the item. This one, you step into the into the square with the box, you open it, and then you're trapped like in your own box and you can't get out. And it it's so perfect. Perfectly sums up this game because it tells you to everything there is a season, and like that's a hint.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There's a
but if you
calculator.
don't know, yeah,
That's a hint.
there's a calculator, and then it tells you to turn, turn, turn because
Yeah.
it's the birds or
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes or whatever. Um, and then you starve to death. If you fall, it gives you advice. You go, okay, you follow the advice, and then you get killed, and then you die. And Frank Core Jr. laughs somewhere
Right.
at you.
Another one I just noticed on this screen. So this screen tells you to like commands are get box drop and help.
hmm
If you type help, it tells you to type instructions. That
Doesn't
sums up the logic of this game as well. That like why not just put instruction? Why are you making me do 5 steps? We'll go back to the other puzzle. I just noticed that here and just like, hey, wait a minute.
I
That
thought
too.
it did help sometimes. Like, doesn't it do help by the hat?
I
Or maybe
don't
it's the
know. Maybe
calculator.
help is contextual, which in that case, holy crap.
Yeah,
Okay,
right. I
let's
believe
go.
help is like hint, but I'm not. I don't fully remember.
So we're going to ruin this game for people because we're going to talk about some of the puzzles.
Yeah.
It is a puzzle game at its core. We definitely are not going to be able to get you all the way through the game, but definitely with some of our help, you might get a sense for how this game's logic works and go
Mm-hmm. It's a wireframe map. It's a
from
two-word command parser,
there.
and it's a bunch of really weird and obscure puzzles.
Yes.
Like this calculator, I looked up the solution to this, and my story with Deathmaze is that I had it when I was a kid. I
hmm
was really young, but I was born in 1980, so technically I had it when it was old.
hmm
But I must have been like 7 or 8. Um, and I would play it, but I didn't understand gaming enough to know that you have to map, you have to do all this stuff. So I just got super creeped out by it. Like the whole thing just is vaguely creepy because you're just wandering around in this weird winding maze. You find boxes, and then all of a sudden you're like trapped in this thing.
hmm
So my experience with Death Maze was 100% wandering around level one, being creeped out with no idea what I was doing or where I was going. So when I picked it up again as an adult, I was like, okay, I'm never going to figure out this calculator thing. So I just looked up looked up the solution. Did you figure it out?
I did. Uh, I will say I figured it out, but how I figured it out means no one else will ever figure it out. Someone I work with, and this will be a clue to what I'm about to say. I had to show them how to dial a long distance number
Hmm,
because they were so young. They've never had to put a one in front of an area code. They've only had cell phones.
weird.
And so they didn't know how to dial local numbers on a desktop phone because they were always putting in the area code, and they didn't know how to dial a one before that. I had to teach them how to use a phone. And it's strictly because they've never known anything other than a cell phone, which
Hmm.
makes sense. I get it. I mean, who has desktop phones?
Right.
So I was thinking about this puzzle, and I looked over at my phone, and I remembered that from the time a lot of puzzles use numbers to represent words,
Hmm.
and calculators from that time flip upside down to make, like, I started just like all these like little threads connected in my head about how we'd spell boobies on the calculator.
Right. Yep.
800813s boobies.
135.
135, yes.
Jeez, come on.
But yeah, you flip it over and it spells a word. So like
It's exciting.
I flip this over and it spells lie.
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything other than it's 543 on the keypad. And
Hmm.
so therefore, that's how many times you have to turn, probably in alternating directions. And of course, I turned right first, and you turn left first. But you go left 5 times, right 4 times, left 3 times, and then you get a door and you get out.
Hmm.
What I
I thought
think's interesting is, do you think you even need the calculator? Like, I don't even know if you need it.
you do need it later.
Do
You
you?
need it later in the game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The calculator is key. You can't beat the game without dealing with this puzzle.
Oh,
I the calculator puzzle, it, you have to rub the screen and then you see another number. It's like LIE
S.
or yeah.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
That's right, because it has a muddy screen. You gotta. I remember seeing that, but I don't remember what it had to do with anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that must be something you need later.
Yeah. But I think there you can type help and it'll tell you reverse and telephone or something.
Oh, will it?
Yeah, if you do help
Okay.
there. Did you read the manual for this?
I didn't know there was a manual for this.
There's like a one-page sheet of instructions, and probably the most enlightening part of that is that you can propel yourself down the hallway by typing fart, and you will go straight down the hall. You will fart your way down the hallway until you hit the wall.
I didn't know that, but that is so this game's sense of humor.
Yep.
Um, Like I on the main screen it tells you to type charge, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here too. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
huh.
Again, like that's what this game does. It like tells you things, you trust the game maker, and you try it, and you die.
Hmm.
Like this puzzle's perfect here because oh, you didn't see it. But like you get this hat, and if you read the hat, it says charge a wall by where you found this hat.
Hmm.
And if you turn left there, you see this long hallway, like a runway, that's just begging for you to charge down it uh, and break through the wall. And if you do that, your brain gets smashed out on the walls and you die.
Hmm.
What you have to do is turn to your right, which is basically facing a wall, and charge. Like
Yeah,
that
away
is
from the hallway.
right. It's fantastic. Like I just really like that aspect of this game, how just like mean spirited it feels.
Well, okay, so like there's that. There's you got to, but you also can't like charge the wall straight ahead of you either. Like it's got to be a turn. In the area you're doing, like the maps are 10 by 10,
Hmm.
except for level 1, where part of it doesn't fit on a 10 by 10 map. For some reason, he breaks the map box. Like even the map squares you can't trust.
Right.
The game is about, like you said, you got to. I didn't show the invisible guillotine either. Man, there's parts of it that once you start getting in the habit of the game, you just start not doing things. Um,
Hmm.
it's sort of a memorization game. You figure out a puzzle and you memorize your way to get through there as fast as possible until you get a new puzzle, and then you figure out how to do that, and then you memorize your way back to it, and you just keep repeating that till you get down.
Yeah.
You can save game, but every time I did, it would just lock up on me. So I don't know.
Same here. I use save states to
Oh,
progress
that would have
through
been
this
clever.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I it's so hard for me to find my way around in this game for some reason. Um, I find I have such an easier time with 3D mazes than 2D.
Hmm.
The mind just reels for me when I in this one it whines a lot.
It
Like
winds
it's
a
not
lot.
nice to you when it comes to mapping.
There's a lot of snaky passages. There's not a lot of anything to give you any sense of, you know, change from corridor to corridor, which actually gave me a huge sense of nostalgia. Like there is
Hmm.
a wizardry vibe to this, with the
Oh
mapping
yeah.
and stuff. But wizardry, when you look down a hall, the side stuff looks correct. And I will bet you any amount of money you want that if I found you another 2D game with 2D walls, whether it's Might and Magic or Bard's Tale or something like that, you'll have 100% easier time because when you look down the hall, what you see on the screen is what you'll see on the paper. And here
Mm.
it's not. And that's just insane. But it always shows you the wrong information in the same way,
Hmm.
which means you
Right.
can learn it. Um,
Yeah,
and
I took time to like because you're on a timer too. You have torches and you have food, and if you don't find those things, you're wandering around in the dark and you're basically dead.
yeah.
Um, so I like had the most efficient route plotted through like level one. Like stuff
Mm,
like that is pretty fun.
yeah.
It's rewarding once you can finally do it, but man, getting it mapped was a time sink.
The This is a game that I liked, but I didn't enjoy. Does that make
Totally.
sense? I liked
Oh
it. I
yeah.
didn't have fun. Um, I think I would have had fun if you and I were in the same room playing it at the same
I totally think that this would be a good game to get stuck on for a long time because the puzzles are so weird
time. Hmm.
and they're so hard. Like if you didn't have the internet, or well, you were able to do it, but like that calculator puzzle and just
That
uh,
calculator puzzle is because I'm over 40 and I was sitting next to a phone that actually had the numbers on it. If it
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
for that, I wouldn't have gotten that. No kid's gonna get that.
Yeah, right. But there is something to be said for if you for playing this if you're going to play it. I would not go straight to a walkthrough. I would because then you'll miss those little like mean times when you get a hint that's so bad because you'll know like oh I turn right I charge the wall like
Yeah,
and you'll never have that moment where you're like what I did it I charged the
I did what I
beautiful
was told
wall.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So you would miss that.
you would miss that. And one of the things you said, you thought I'd not like this game because of my attitude about um, Another World.
Hmm.
And for me, the difference is Another World isn't trying. Like, this game's called Deathmaze, and it shows a guy beaten to shit on the cover.
Hmm.
What you're getting is on the label. You're getting a puzzle game that's meant to basically kill your character over and over again as you figure it out. Getting a puzzle wrong makes you die and you have to start again. With that expectation set, I can get in the mindset. I can get, I can invest in this world when the other game's trying to be an action heroes, buddy comedy.
Right.
Um,
That's fair.
then you're sending me mixed messages and you're taking away one experience to try and give me another, and neither one's working for me.
Yeah, I had a very shallow view of that when I said that, because again, this game's primary method of giving you feedback is to kill you.
Watch this. Going in the elevator. Go in the elevator. And the walls smush you. And it just says glitch and you're dead.
Great.
There's one where there's a box and you open it and there's a snake inside. So you've been taught all this time, open box, open box, open box, open box. You get to one and a snake bites you and you die.
Hmm.
But it's
Right.
always the same box. You learn that lesson, and now
Hmm.
you get a little more inside the developer's head, and you learn a little bit more about the maze, and you like can work with that in a way.
The other thing I really love about this game is that there's like a one-page direction. There's that lead-in intro screen,
Mhm.
and there's no story. It's just you just wake up in this creepy maze that's made out of steel and it's 5 stories and there's
Yeah,
pits and it's just horrible and it's vaguely creepy in that way and I really like that.
yeah. Like, since I didn't play this as a kid or really get into any of that part of it, I don't know that I necessarily found it creepy.
It's not creepy objectively.
Yeah, objectively it's not, but
Well,
I
I
can
think
also see the creep aspect of it. Like, there's a horror movie, you know, Cube or Cube 3 or any of those sort of things where you're like going from death puzzle to death puzzle.
hmm and the other thing is like up until Deathmaze was the first game I ever played where I didn't feel like I was the hero being guided on this trajectory toward victory. You don't feel that in Deathmaze.
No.
You feel like you're just like at the whims of this crazy person
Yeah.
who's no doubt watching you and laughing.
Yeah, you're the victim.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not improving. You're not like being herded toward a win. And everything else when I was a kid, that's how it was. Like this was
Yeah.
the first time, and so it felt really adult to me in some way.
I
Uh,
can see that. That is a nice, yeah. Like, here's one of these turny passages you're talking
oh,
about.
it's yeah. Oh boy. And then you always have that moment where you're like, well, I guess I have to open the box and like
Yeah.
see if it's gonna kill me or if it's gonna have like a rotten sneaker in
Well,
it
here's
or
a good, here's,
whatever.
so like, okay, we're looking at this hall going forward.
Hmm.
Again, it looks like it looks like the hall turns and keeps going.
Hmm.
But if you step forward, come on, little guy, it doesn't. Oop, I go back just a frame. Is there like a frame back?
Oh man, that's a big ask.
Because I'm moving so fast through this now, because now I've got it mapped. But yeah, you
Right.
see how it immediately hooks right? Like, it doesn't look like it does. Now, in this case, it will, but
Hmm.
So the maze isn't representative. I'm going to harp on that a couple times because it does bother me. Have you ever typed in like the wrong word for something
Yes, yeah,
and it
it gives you
calls you
sat.
names? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's really
there you go.
it's really good, and it's so weirdly imaginative. And like the last puzzle is like an obscure literary reference.
Hmm.
Like that's how you know the answer to that one. Like you go to like freshman or uh, sophomore English class in college.
Yeah.
But this was a med systems game, and they released a few of these. They released Asylum, and there was another one, um, Asylum 2, Labyrinth,
Yeah, Labyrinth was the other one.
Labyrinth. Yeah, and they're all kind of like this. And uh, this is my favorite. I haven't. I think I played Asylum a tiny bit.
You know what this game reminds me of? Trauma films.
Oh, yeah, it does have kind of a trauma absurdity about it.
Yeah. Um, it's got sort of that vibe for a 1980s game. Just this sort of weird, violent things are happening and weird things are happening, and you're sort of stuck in the middle of it.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's not fun, really, in like the
mm-mm.
classic sense. Uh, I don't. I still would recommend people play it though, just because it might just be my nostalgia, but
I definitely think it's your nostalgia.
that's fair.
Am I glad you recommended it? Yes. Am I glad I played it? Yes. Can I see somebody who didn't play games like this at the time or wasn't into this sort of thing enjoying this? No.
Not really,
This
no.
is um have I played other games like this? Yeah. I think this game did it actually kind of okay, a little better than some of the generic stuff I've seen or remember from high school and elementary school on the Apple II and stuff. Um,
Yeah, it has more nonsense, and it's both sillier and more brutal, I think, than
yeah,
other games like this that I've played.
it's a flippant sense of death, but it also the thing like it's silly and it's nonsensical, but there is a logic to it. You have to get in the developer's head and figure out their logic and what would they do and how would they try to trick you. Once you do that, pieces start falling into place. Like uh, when I when I stepped in the elevator this time and it killed me, I had found an elevator on another floor because I'd stepped in the pit and fallen down and all kinds of
Hmm.
stuff, and that elevator worked. So when I stepped in this one and killed me, it wasn't a why is this happening? It was an of course that happened. Like you
Right,
know what I mean?
right. And you
Like
don't. It's not like you have a choice. It's not like
yeah.
you have to do it. Like
Yeah.
you have to let Frank Core Jr. kill you,
Yeah.
because the alternative, you just wouldn't do anything
Right.
except starve to death, because that's
So
always
he
the thing
he
that's
wins in the
happening.
end anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this sense of course that happens. Like of course something like not like even in the Sierra games where something weird would happen. You're like, why did that? You're doing that just to be mean. This game's like, of course they're doing it to be mean.
Hmm.
That's the name of the game. It's not fluffy Buttlecunny.
Right. Right.
Uh,
It's a mean spirited
it's a mean-spirited game that you're
effort.
subjecting yourself to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's Death Maze.
I
I don't
think
know what
that's
else to
pretty much
say.
it.
Was
Yeah.
there like
I mean,
5 levels to it or 10? I think only five, right?
there's five, and they're 10 by 10. So
Yeah.
they advertise 500 distinct locations, and that to me was exciting till I realized that, oh,
What that
like
means, yeah.
you're like looking down the hallway, that's a location. But still, like for the TRS 80 in 1980, like this is
Yeah.
pretty good. You can see the elevator move. It's all
Hmm.
right.
No, they did a good job. I'm for a game I went in with such low expectations. I had a good time. I may try to get through it again sometime because it is so quick to kind of just pop, pop, pop. I do like
Hmm.
mapping, even though the mapping's crap.
Hmm.
So
It's consistent crap
it's
though.
consistent crap. It's consistent crap. So we'll fade that out. And we will once again talk about next month's long game, which is Diablo.
Diablo.
We'll actually be doing that next week. We had so many videos this month that, hi, it's already next week for Diablo.
Yeah. Yeah,
We've been
that'll be
busy.
fun. I
Yeah,
think we're gonna show our multiplayer footage, right? We're gonna
I'm
do some multiplayer.
thinking that's the plan.
So
Watch us play
everyone
together.
can watch me just kill you over and over again by accident. By accident.
Accident. Well, it's all making up for that PUBG someone's in here with us moment. You just, how
Yeah,
does
when
it
you
feel
murdered me.
now? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in here with me. But yeah, Diablo's fun.
Diablo 1. We'll talk more about that then. So we'll shut that off. Next time short game is The Incredible Machine.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I remember playing that a lot as a kid. Uh,
I think they had it in my school and I played
hmm
it, but I never had it at home. But
Yeah.
it was a whole there was a whole series of these,
Yep.
so maybe it'll be my new gaming passion, will be the Incredible Machine series.
Probably not. I'm actually going to see if I can get my kids in front of it. I want to get their take on it. See what kids today would think of something like
Yeah.
that. I think that'll
But yeah,
be
it should be
fun.
wholesome. Should be a wholesome conversation.
A good palate cleanser after Diablo and Deathmaze.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Talk to everybody later. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.